good afternoon, everyone. As you all might already know about our topic, it's surrounding about lowering the drinking age to 18 years of age. And while I believe Guy and Kelsey, they made very, very impressive, very nice, strong points today. Me, Arnold, and Dylan here today are going to be talking about why we believe we should keep the drinking age to 21 years old. Now, question, obviously, we're going to begin with is, well, why? Why should we keep the drinking age to around 21 years old? And I think the first reason would be the very obvious reason. It would be the American public actually overwhelmingly supports the current law. And that according to a recent study, about only 25% of the U.S. population supports actually lowering the drinking age to 18 years old, whereas overwhelmingly 75% of American citizens are for keeping the legal drinking age to 21. And another obvious reason would be that the law actually helps to reduce traffic fatalities, and that according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in a recent study, they actually found that ever since the drinking age has remained at 21 since 1985, that it actually has decreased the number of traffic fatalities for 18 and 20-year-olds by about 15%. And what's really interesting about this is that ever since then, it's actually saved over about 30,000 lives since the 1980s all the way up to about 2008. And if you do the math on that, that's about at least 30,000, or at least 1,000, 1,500 lives saved per year since then. And another reason was that the law also helps to reduce the number of underage drinkers in this country. Now, the percentage of underage drinkers has gone down since the law was introduced, and since the study was started in 1984. And it has shown that when the drinking age has been kept at 21 years old, that those under than 21 years old actually drink less and continue to drink less throughout their early 20s. And that youth who actually do not drink until they are actually 21 years old actually continue to gradually drink less as they proceed further in life. And another reason I would say too as well would be the current age limit actually helps to not only reduce the amount of drinking in the United States, but it actually would help to prevent underage binge drinking as well. And that in a 2015 study, binge drinking actually peaks among around 21 to 25-year-olds at about 45 to about 50%, whereas respectively, binge drinking around 18 to 20-year-olds actually peaks out at around 30%. So in about a 30-40 year period, binge drinking among the youth, among under 21 years old, has actually decreased significantly over a long period of time. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my associate Arnold here, who's going to go into a little bit more detail about the negative health repercussions of lowering the drinking age.
So as we all know, your brain doesn't stop developing until you're about 25 years old or so. So with the drinking age is already 21, so as you can guess, the negative effects that it has on your development are already, it's already happening. But imagine if you were 18, 17 when your brain is in prime development years, and you start drinking, and that's when you start drinking, then, you're going to be on the left, not on the right, Okay, so according to the Surgeon General's call to action, annually 6,000 people under the age of 21 die from alcohol-related injuries. Now, this includes car accidents. 1,900 people die from car accidents, 1,600 die from homicide, 1,000 from alcohol poisoning, and 300 from suicide. So, now actually speaking about driving under the influence, 18 to 21 year olds driving under the influence. Actually, when I was in college, my first year in college, there was a guy that did this, it was like a drunk driving awareness, what are we going to call it, seminar or something. And he told us a story, and he was either a freshman or a sophomore in college, and he was a student athlete, and so he was like 19 or 20 years old, and he was out drinking at the bars, and he was doing it with a fake ID. And, after he was done drinking, his girl or whatever called him up to go hang out, and this was a girl that was like his best friend or whatever, and so he drove and picked her up, and on their way back, or from wherever they were coming from, he got in a really bad car accident, rolled the car, and he walked away just fine. But unfortunately, she wasn't as fortunate; she passed away. So, and that I actually thought about that story when I read the stat that said in accidents, 45%, drunk driving accidents, 45% of the people that die aren't even the ones that are driving. So that's almost every 1 out of 2 people that are killed in a drunk driving accident. They didn't, they weren't even responsible for it. And then, so also then with the driving, in 2009, 1 out of 5 drivers between 16 and 20 involved in accidents had a blood alcohol level over the. Okay, so also, so past the driving now, things that some risks that are involved with underage drinking, because 18 and 20-year-olds, while they may have the same responsibilities as 21-year-olds and onwards, they're not as mature. They don't make as good decisions. So that leads to increased risky sexual behavior, which leads to higher rates of unplanned pregnancy and STD transmission. And then with that pregnancy, some girls may not realize that they are even pregnant yet, or this, that, and other thing. So, that could result in alcohol spectrum disorders, which is still a current leading cause of mental retardation. And then also obviously the worst penalty of all for drunk driving is death. So I want to go ahead and pass it on to Dylan and close it out. Thank you.
So the law reduces alcohol consumption. In 2002, a meta study that so due to the MLDA, the mandatory or minimum legal drinking age, has seen an 87% reduction in underage drinking. In 2009, a foundation found that a percentage of nighttime drivers exceeding the legal blood alcohol limit went from 5.4 down to 2.2 in 2007, so over a 30-year period roughly. And alcohol also can lead to abuse of other substances. So delaying people access or from having access to alcohol also helps prevent these risky behaviors that can cause death, like we've seen with overdoses or other fatal car accidents. And one reason that the legal drinking age should stay 21 is people are more mature and responsible at 21. They didn't pick 21 at random. They actually did studies and found that based off the average behavior of 21s compared to 18-year-olds, that they felt making the age 21 was the best choice, since people 21 and over will be less impulsive. And also, when you drink, you're exposed to dangerous environments, or you can be. Bars will and have been caught over serving patrons. And people, if you guys, I'm assuming everyone here has seen someone get drunk and do something stupid. So with people being 18 and not as mature as people that are 21, that's a huge increased risk for that. And those are the reasons that we have for keeping the drinking age 21. And if our opposing team would like to come up here and have a debate with us. Yes.
Okay, I've got some very quick questions for your group. You started off by saying that 77% of people are opposed or approve of the current drinking age, and that that's a reason. If 77% of people wanted to reinstigate segregation, would that be the right thing to do?
I mean, given that we're a democratic government and it's majority rules, you get a lot of opposition.
But that's why the Supreme Court exists for.
Yeah, it has been ruled as something that's unconstitutional. You have a point there, so that wouldn't happen.
Second question: legalization of marijuana in many states have also correlated with a decrease in underage use. So, can you substantively prove a correlation and causation effect between the rise of the drinking age and lessening of use?
So that right there is
the fruit of the forbidden tree effect, I believe it's called. So most people that are 18 to 21 get their alcohol from people that are roughly 25. So lowering the drinking age just makes it easier for 15, 16-year-olds to get it from 18-year-olds.
Okay, and third question. Say I grew up my whole life wanting to be all-day alcoholic, drinking from the morning to night. What right does the government have to stop me from doing that the moment I become a full citizen of the United States of America on my 18th birthday? We're a free country.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again?
If I say I grew up my whole life wanting to be an all-day, passing out at 3 o'clock alcoholic,
Right.
we live in a free country. What right does the government have to dictate whether I'm allowed to do that when I become a full citizen at 18?
The law. Breaking the law, so they
No, but I'm saying, what right does the government have to create that law in a free society where we are free individuals sharing in a collective nation of free, equal people? No, you don't. That's infringing on the other person's right to be alive. Minus.
So my question was, so, I mean, growing up, I'm sure a lot of us knew people that drank under the age, and I don't know about you guys, but I noticed that the majority of them wouldn't ask for help. They wouldn't try to go get another ride. They wouldn't call their parents to get help. A lot of times, I actually know somebody who's in college right now. She got so wasted she could barely function. She actually called 911 and a cop came to get her, and he drove her home. But if you're under the age, you can't do that. So do you think that dropping the drinking age to 18 would actually prevent people from drunk driving because they would be able to ask for help?
I think no matter what the drinking age is, whether we make it 18 or keep it at 21 or raise it to 50, people are going to be stupid and drive drunk regardless.
But would it help prevent?
No, Uber will do that.
Yeah.
Self-driving test works.
And they don't judge. No.
Self-driving test works.
But they still.
I get what you mean. I know. I know exactly.
That's a good point.
I was just thinking that.
You just made a good point for your group. You said that people are going to make decisions, whatever decision they want to make at the end of the day, no matter what age they are.
Right.
So
So
a
keeping
21-year-old is going to make a decision that an 18-year-old might make. And then when you look at the human brain doesn't stop developing until around 25 usually.
yeah.
So that should kind of be an adult, and 21 is not an adult, so they're still making decisions similar to a 16-year-old.
Right.
So
Again, it's based off the average behavior of 18-year-olds and or compared to those that are 21 or older. So that's where they got that number from.
I looked at a lot of stats. I looked at that 20-page stat thing, and I was blown away by how many qualifiers. I did. I was blown away. In fact, I got it highlighted there, put it gravel, but I was stunned by how many factors had to be considered for the stats to be effective. In fact, my favorite thing was the very end of it. The very last, page 20, if you get there, or whatever, there are charts, but and it reads, discussion and conclusion. And it talks about Canadian reduction in youth driving and driving followed virtually the same pattern as the United States, but the Canadian reduction was not due to laws directed at youth. The drinking age did not change during this time. Everything was the same. All the stats were the same in the U.S. and Canada, but they didn't lower the drinking age. What they said was the conclusion. This is their 20-page report. The conclusion suggests that a substantial portion of the reduction in the United States was a result from the same causes, which are the changes must have resulted from educational and motivational programs and from other factors outside of traffic safety.
What is that again? What document is that?
This is the U.S. Department of Transportation, Section 4, what caused the decrease, talking about the decrease in minimum. So these 20 pages are just talking about the decrease in fatalities, teen fatalities. But when you go through it, it's just amazing. What cracked me up was the factoring out. It stated left, and Kelsey and I were talking about it. Yeah. What's left? And if you take out sex, that's half the people, right? You can do male or female. Then you take out what region of the country they grow in. It's 1/6 of the country breaks into 6 different regions. Then you take out whether they live in urban settings or non-urban settings. You take out the education level that the individual has, filter out the education level of the parent, then the stats prove their point. Who's left? You take all those people. It's a lot of people. No, you're done.
Do you think that it should be reassessed given how much we've progressed since that law was made? So, I mean, now we do have Uber, Lyft. You can, I mean, there's so many ways to get around these days. There's so many safer ways to approach certain things. Also, the ability to get a fake ID is so much easier than it was when the law was made. Do you think it should be reassessed for a different age?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, yes, it should, because our standards have changed. What's acceptable? If you watch, I saw this old 50s movie, and I think it was Cary Grant is drunk, and the police pull him over, and the fine is $2, and he's arguing with them because he thinks it's ridiculous, and he wasn't really that drunk, and his mom is just kind of laughing about it. I mean, the whole, you can tell, all society, geez, watch Mad Men, and I can remember my dad was born in 1970, I was almost 50, he was almost 50 when I was born, so he's from that era, and he drank all the time. I mean, and the standard was different than it is now. But they were still making certain decisions, and we got to get back to the point that if we want to argue about the benefits or detriments of alcohol, I mean, I'm right there with you. We can do it. I do that with you all day. I mean, I would agree, right? So it isn't about whether alcohol is a problem. I think we can all agree that the abuse of it is, in whatever manner that is. The issue is rights. That's what we're talking about. And I think there's no way in my mind can you justify to me that I can be trusted with the decision to make or to give up my own life or to take another and not trust me to make the same decision to drink responsibly. It doesn't raise the other age to 21 then, or 25, whatever the brain is, finished developing 25, I think I read that before too. But if it's going to be 18 for military service, it needs to be 18 for
When you come out, they just make something 21. Might be the next thing. But on that note, to follow that up, in regards to reassessing, this poll right here was done in 2014. And that's 74% of people opposing it and 25% wanting to lower it, with 1% voting as indifferent.
But that's a poll, not like an actual statistic of
Right, but
rate.
I think we've all learned polls to be misleading.
If you took everyone in this poll and proved it, and you said, we're going to change the minimum induction age to 21 versus 18, which means our military force is going to drop by 30% or whatever the number is. Therefore, you guys that just think this is a bad idea, we're going to start drawing from you to fill our military ranks. And guess what? The draft is going to be started again. They would change their tune. Pretty soon, 18 wouldn't sound too bad.
I used to work at a CVS for a year, and we have a lot of kids coming in and stealing alcohol who are about 18. Why do you want to turn these kids into criminals? They would be buying it otherwise, but they're even stealing because they can't.
Would they buy? Would 18-year-olds have money now all of a sudden? Wow.
They have money for weed. They have money for alcohol. Let's just go
I don't know if either one of you guys should mention this, but did you guys look at statistics in other countries that have the drinking age at 18?
Actually, yeah. A lot of European countries have the drinking age at 18, and they have significantly higher rates of alcoholism and binge drinking.
What about for driving?
I don't know about that one. This is going to be about me living
In those countries, though, those rates have been going up with the rise in popularity with American television. So do you think that the fact that America's drinking culture
differences? Yeah, I think the cultural differences.
The culture, yeah. Do you think that because, I mean, I spent every summer in Europe growing up because that's where my grandparents lived. And, there's a major difference between the older generation there who do have a glass of wine with lunch versus the younger generation who you see pretty loading up in the square before they go to the clubs, and then after, and then back to the clubs, and then back out to drink more.
So I think that's one thing too is like we can just call it Hollywood. They like to glorify things that shouldn't really be glorified, like drinking. I read somewhere that if you watch a James Bond movie from like 1970 to the most recent one, Daniel Craig, there's significantly more violence. Like I think in one from the 70s, he gets in like 3 fights and that's it or something. And then you watch one that came out a couple of years ago. It's like nothing but fighting.
He also crashes his car when he drinks now too.
Yeah,
Taking all the fun
see.
out.
So it's just Hollywood's been glorifying a lot of things that shouldn't be glorified.
I think you raised a couple of interesting points. One is this is the United States. It's not England, France, or anywhere else. So those stats I wouldn't even care about. It comes back to me again, the same thing. It's decision making, and we're here in the U.S. So.
Well, I mean, I think it's something to consider because we can look at them and see how it's working over there and get an idea of what it would be like over here if we were to implement it.
If they're the same.
There's a lot of factors with
We have a
another
big
country, cultural differences, how they're raised. It's so yeah, it's so
I feel like really regardless of the
how high like Japan and India pay. Their thought process is so different.
even with all these
Legalize